guys, this is a video tutorial about how to put together a Superstar Foldable that you can buy off of my store on Teachers Pay Teachers. If you search Amy Hendricks, it's listed under one of the items I have for sale. What I did was pre-cut all of the different slides that are on the document, so that part is going to make this go a little bit quicker. What I also had to have was an 11.5 by 14-inch envelope that you can buy at an office supply store, but you need to have one per student, and then obviously a copy for you as well, for every one of your classes to do this. The first thing you do when you're putting this together is close up the envelope, the braided section of your envelope. Do not lick the seal shut because you're going to be putting information in on that pocket. But the next thing you'll do after that is just fold it like a book or hamburger fold, whatever you tell your kids to do. The third step is to take from the fold, we're going to cut the edges of these three sides off to make a booklet here in just a second. I tell the kids that it's like shaving, because you just want the tiniest edge to come off of the envelope. You do not want a giant chunk of it out, because that's going to take up some of the space where your papers are going to be going. So once you cut the three edges there, you should have an opening right here, so that now it starts to form a little book. And then let me throw those away. And then we're going to do something to make this pocket actually stay sealed. So you're going to need a bottle of glue, which I did not grab. Hang on just a second. Okay, so open up the two kind of pages that are formed whenever you cut it, and then inside this pocket we're going to put the tiniest little strip of glue, because you do not want it to ooze out and cause your pages to be stuck together. If it does ooze out a little bit, I just have the kids get a Kleenex and kind of wipe it away, and it should be fine. And then once you have that seal in place, you've got essentially a couple of pages for your book, and then you've also got the pocket where you can open this up and slide information in to keep it from falling out. So the front of the booklet is right here. It's just nice and plain. I have a cover page that I have my kids glue onto the front. I also have them write their name, and if they want to decorate it or anything, since there's spaces around, they can certainly do that, but they do that in their own time. So page 1, I think is what I called it in the document, has three things stuck to it. So I start from the bottom of the page and glue it up. The first one is an integers rule page. And I just kind of glue that into the center, kind of a little over onto the side, so that you have room to put a tabbed section over here. The next page that goes with it is a decimals and fractions two-sided page. I just fold that tab backwards, and then these two sections just kind of fold in half. And then we put the tiniest little smear of glue on that edge, and it goes over here. And then I always have my students check that it's just this part that got glued down and we don't have any blobs coming out. And then the third thing that goes in this section is a little number system graphic organizer that we've talked about this year. So I fold that back. Again, the tiniest little smear of glue, and it goes right up here at the top. And that's everything for section 1. You've got this flip top, you've got this kind of expandable page, and then the integers page right there in the center. For section 2, it's just right over to the next side. It's 2 front and back pages, solving equations and constant of proportionality. It's a front and back page that folds up. Really the back side of this page is just the gluing information in the title, but you take the bottom, fold it up, and then fold it again to make a little quarter page booklet. This one gets glued to the top of section 2. And then the other one, you fold it the exact same way. It's got obviously different information on the side, so you fold it in half, hot dog, and then fold it to make the quarter page, and that one goes down on the bottom section. So we glue that right there, and then both of those pages should be able to, once the glue's dry, you should be able to open those up to do work on them and explain things and whatnot, and they shouldn't overlap or mess up anything else. So on to the third section. This one is a proportions and similar figures examples. It was a full sheet that I'm pretty sure was one-sided. Yep. I always try to do as much cutting for my kids as possible, just so it kind of doesn't slow us down too much in class. So I would go ahead and chop this off right there for your students if you have that time to do, and then the kids can go through with scissors and cut the doors apart for their different examples. So the first section that's going to go down is the proportions and their examples. Just put a little strip of glue and then take that, glue it down over on the left edge. And then I have the kids open that up over to the side because the similar figures is going to go underneath it to make kind of like a double tabbed booklet. So put a little glue there, and that one also goes into section 3. And I'm a little OCD, so I line it up. If your kids don't, I just wouldn't go past this fold because otherwise it'll mess up the book whenever it gets all closed up. So once both of those sections are there, then kids can write on them, maybe do the work on the back of the tabs for each of the individual problems there. The next thing is a probability and kind of financial literacy section. I think I originally messed this up where I said top on both of these sections, but really as long as you have the right pieces together, you should be fine. So one goes at the top, one goes at the bottom. I think I originally meant for probability to be up at the top, and what this is originally is a two-sided paper like this that you chop in half, and then the kids kind of accordion, fold it up. There's a little bit of a overlap in both of these sides. That way you can glue it together and make one giant accordion that folds up. So I just have the kids lay it both side by side with examples, or you could have them, start on this side if you wanted to, but I just think it's easier to identify the both giant examples titles. And you're going to put a thin little strip of glue right there for the giant accordion part to be put together. And then this part might take a second. Then it gets folded up, kind of accordion style. If it doesn't get folded perfectly, it's not the end of the world, but then you take this section and then glue that down into the top. If you get the 9.5, I think it's a 9.5 by 11 folder, it's the next size down from this envelope at your office supply store. This section is going to end up being underneath the envelope flap here, which to me isn't that big of a deal because this isn't getting sealed anyways. But if you do the 11.5 by 14 inch envelope size like this one is, it'll fit perfectly without that being in the way, which, you know, for some people is a big deal, for others it's not. The last section is cut and glued the exact same way. You've got examples pages, have the kids chop it in half here. It goes through and gets glued the exact same way and folded the exact same way. And once that center part is dried, you can fold it to make another little accordion. This one's over our financial literacy interest, compound interest, that kind of stuff, budgets and everything for 7th grade. So you will glue that in underneath the other one, and now it's like 2 accordion style pages where you can open them up, you know, write the various information and examples down. The last section of the whole book, I didn't really think this out super wonderfully because when I started cutting these I thought, good Lord have mercy. It's a lot of different shapes to do, area of 2-dimensional figures. There's some prisms and pyramids to do volume and surface area. I can already go ahead and tell you, with my kids personally, I'm going to leave these all on the full sheets and just fold those in half and put them in this pocket. I'm not going to have them cut all of these out just because it's just a hassle. It's a long time, and I didn't realize that at the time. And they're probably more likely to lose all these individual shapes than they are the full sheets. But, you know, it's always an option that you can cut those out, and then they would slip into the pocket for you to find measurement and all of that stuff. And then in the back of the envelope, kind of typically what we originally would have thought would have been the very front, is a name and a, you know, return to whatever teacher if it gets found, because this is a lot of work, and you don't want your kids to lose it and have to start all over again. So that way you can put, you know, you could type in your name here if you wanted to with a text box, or just write it in and have the kids write their name in to have it all completed. So that's basically the whole foldable, super foldable thing in a nutshell. You've got all of that, you know, in these accordion style out, and then the measurement, area, volume, and surface area stuff are in this envelope. Some of the things I definitely do a little bit different from the video is I color code each page. Just, I don't know, something about my kids like to draw on colored paper a lot more than they do white paper, but I just printed it all out on white for the purpose of this video. And I definitely suggest that if you're lucky enough, like my campus, to have student aids, I actually show my student aids a couple of weeks in advance how to kind of cut and fold all of these things and basically get it all ready to be handed to the student like this, so that we can get ready to go on our STAAR review and not have to do too much classroom setup for this. So that's definitely, you know, if you have that option, I definitely would look into trying to have a student aid of yours, you know, put together as much as possible. But if you have any questions about it, certainly ask me a question over Teachers Pay Teachers. My name's Amy Hendricks. It's only $5 online, and then you get the whole original copy to kind of put this together, and you can get the envelopes. Again, it's an 11.5 by 14 inch envelope. You can buy them at Office Depot, Office Max, Staples, anywhere that sells them, and hopefully you can order them online with a school discount and get, you know, your tax-free and all that stuff done. This, the last thing I will say is this does not cover every single TEK in the readiness standards and supporting standards for Texas, and I am not sure what it covers as far as Common Core, just because that's a little bit different for Texas. But it does address some of what we felt in my campus were some of the bigger things that 7th graders needed to kind of be reminded of, and whatnot before we take our STAAR exam in April. So, again, if you have any questions, send me a question or little response over Teachers Pay Teachers, and I will certainly try to help you out as best I can. Thank you.